Good morning, General Chat. This is January 25th. It's Sunday. I'm currently in the tri-state area, staying in New Jersey during a big snowstorm that just happened. So I'm stuck here waiting to go into New York City once they open up the Port Authority and the train stations. But with the snow in, I'm kind of having a Hateful Six kind of moment happening. And I, luckily enough, have somebody to talk to me about one of my favorite topics, the straight eight. The 8 straight flipping tricks. The eight flipping tricks where your board remains straight. Sometimes, or possibly only done in a row for some people. So we'll get to the bottom of all that in a minute. Let me introduce the guest. Today we have with us one of the premier skate historians about skateboarding tricks. He has a special skill set when it comes to these tricks. He's been working on a Instagram project called the NBD ARCHIVE. Please go check that out. It's been happening for at least 8 years, maybe longer, I think, at this point. I'm not sure. We'll have that correction. Let me introduce you, listeners, to the NBD ARCHIVE. You want to say?
Yes. Sloan.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing this, and because I think your voice and your experience, your understanding, you're the person I really needed. One of the many people I need to talk to about this, but I think
this is flattering, man.
No, this is the first person I'm talking to about this who has not had the same exact experience I've had with the straight eight, but you have a knowledge and you've already provided me with some dates and some information that makes that already illuminated my perception of the origins of the straight eight. So that's been already way more helpful than any conversation I've yet to have about the straight eight. So
cool. I was glad to put that together for you.
So do you want me to explain specifically what the straight eight is, or do you want to explain the straight eight to the listeners for anybody who doesn't understand it? So they understand.
I'm going to let you explain it because go ahead.
Yes, I'm obsessed with the straight eight, so I might as well start it. So, the straight eight are 8 skateboarding tricks. And originally, the way I was first introduced to the term, the straight eight were 8 specific tricks. They have to be the kick flip, the heel flip, the nollie flip, the nollie heel flip, the fakie heel flip, the fakie kick flip, the switch kick flip, and the switch heel flip. So it's the 8 basic flip tricks that you can do, not half flips, not double flips, not pressure flips. The 8 flip tricks where the board remains straight. Thus, the name, the straight eight. The first time I heard the phrase, it was a question, and it was, can you do the straight eight? And I didn't know what that meant. And I said, well, what's the straight eight? And then it was described to me. And I couldn't do it because at the time, I probably could only do kick flips and fakie flips and heel flips. So immediately, that's when I learned the fakie heel flip, and that's when I started trying switch kick flips. Was immediately after I was introduced to this idea of the straight eight as a thing that's worth being able to do. It's worth being able to do those 8 tricks. So you could say, I can do the straight eight.
Yeah. What was your order there that you said?
The order doesn't matter. It's just I'm
curious about your order. Which way did you learn it? Two tricks you mentioned.
I could already do a kick. When I heard of the phrase the straight eight, I could already kick flip. I could already heel flip, and I could kick flip. Okay.
Okay. That's what you were working with when you hear it. Okay.
But this is also 1992.
Yeah.
I think, and your information, your spreadsheet where you shared some information about those 8 tricks and the origins of those 8 tricks. Not necessarily the origins, but we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah,
I'll explain.
Totally.
We'll let you explain the project, the NBD ARCHIVE project that you've been doing. Why? And because you had that data for me pretty quickly, and it was pretty awesome to look at. So, so it was 1992. I think I'm assuming based on the information you gave me, it was 1992 when I first heard that phrase. And
because you're at a summer camp
I was at the Interskate 91 skate camp, which was in Wilbraham, Massachusetts, and I believe it was the 3rd year in a row where I had gone there for I didn't go there as a sleepover camp. I just luckily enough happened to grow up in the town next door to where this was. So
wow.
So when
you might be there for some of those like useless wooden toy toys coming through. Holy shit! Yeah,
I was there. I was there in 1990. I couldn't figure it out, but based on the dates that you have, because in 1990 is when Ali Mills filmed the first nollie flip at this skate camp, which is featured in the skateboarding video "Useless Wooden Toys," right?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm looking at the date right now. That's it. Summer 1990. Yeah.
So, and then Justin Gerard was there that year. It was the year that New Deal first launched. It was pretty exciting. They had like a new set of wheels called the Nude Eels.
The Nude Eels.
Yeah, and I remember they had these giant sun stickers. And I
had to get the Ed board. I got the cat board.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it was a really cool company. Like, were you skating when it first started?
Yeah, I also had Andy Howell's board. It's funny. I have it. It's one of the few boards from my childhood that I have.
It was a really special company. It was like, because World Industries had kind of happened. Like, so New Deal was kind of another one of these skate companies by skaters for skaters, right?
Yeah, definitely feeling it.
Breaking away from the Pal Peralta mold, breaking away from the Santa Cruzes, and right. So they were like, it was a really cool company, especially as a young kid, to see these, because Ed Templeton was like 17 or 18 years, 16 years old when he turned pro for them.
Yeah.
So it was just a bunch of kids, what it felt like, and they were all that Useless Wooden Toys video when it came out was really cool. So when I was at the camp in 1990, I think I was still riding a Christian Hosoi board.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had a tail guard. Like they had to take my tail guard off because you weren't allowed to have tail guards because they would
mess up the roller rink.
It would mess up the roller rink, exactly. So I think the first year was 1990, and I was still riding like a Christian Hosoi shaped board. Yeah. And then the next year that was the year that he did the nollie flip, and I remember because this guy Dave Patern, who was like the best skateboarder that I knew personally. I was probably 10 years old, and he was probably like 15 or 16 at the time. He learned nollie flips like that day after watching Ali Mills film that nollie flip.
That's amazing.
He learned, and I didn't understand like why that was cool or what was it. It was just like, oh yeah, that's this trick, that my friend just learned as well. But then in hindsight, looking back, I remember watching the footage like from our homie video like 5 years later and being like, whoa, dude, like Dave learned that trick that day because he saw Ali Mills do it. Like, so my friend Dave might have learned landed a nollie flip before like Mike Carroll, maybe even before Rodney Mullen, who knows?
Yeah.
So that lore was that historic moment had already happened, and we didn't know how important it was because it was just another trick that had gotten invented, right? Because tricks were being invented very quickly around that time period based on your understanding of all the research.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
So the 1990, the nollie flip was done. The next summer I was back there again, and I believe I had a Danny Way 8th Street board the next summer because Plan B hadn't started yet, because that would be 1991.
Yeah.
And I don't think I heard the straight 8 yet, but then the next year was 1992. Ed Templeton and Mike Vallely had come there in 92 because they were promoting their new skateboard company called...
That would be TV, right?
Yes,
TV
very short-lived. So Ed Templeton and Mike Vallely were there for TV. I don't remember if any I don't think any Plan B riders were there, but the Plan B video must have just come out, and that's where everyone had seen the switch heel flip and seen the fakie heel flip, right? Seen the list that you have was that you.
There's definitely by like summer '92. There's even more. Yeah. I didn't even delve further into like a lot comes out right.
I'm gonna look at your
after questionable. I'm gonna on that list. So like
I'm gonna look at this list right now. Yeah. So you have as the kick flip. The first time it appeared in a video was 1983 or 1984, right? By Rodney.
Yeah, an actual video. That first '83 thing is like a YouTube find of some random footage of him, and it's kind of debatable if it's '83 or '84.
Okay. So '84, the
actual skate video release, would be that Bones Brigade video show.
Bones Brigade video show, which was the original first Powell video, right?
The first big one. Yeah,
that's the one where
the skate nerd debate. They had a video prior to that.
But this is the one where Lance Mountain climbs through the chimney, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Classic. I probably saw that video in like 1986. Rented it from the video store after I saw, what is it? Back to the Future. So then after the kickflip, the next trick from the straight 8 that gets invented is the heel flip, and you have it as.
I'll have to stop you there, bud. Okay. I don't know. Like, I hate saying invention.
Okay, not invention. Why don't you?
We're already delving into my thoughts about the whole thing. This is just documentation. Yeah.
Yes. Can you explain briefly what you do with NBD Archive? And
sure.
And why you're so hesitant to call it when it was invented? Because thank you for correcting me, because these aren't when these tricks were invented. These are the first time these tricks are documented and then produced in a large scale in a actual video release. It's pre YouTube. Yeah.
Focus.
Okay.
Yeah, is many moons ago. I had it in my head that we as skateboarders have a pretty good idea of basically every video that was ever made. And even that's becoming a nightmare and maybe hard to prove if we'll ever get there. But there's a pretty good idea of, like 99% of what was produced by skateboarding in the industry through the 70s, 80s, 90s, etc., the 2000s. It's all documented. So my thought was, again, this was years ago, just sitting around thinking like, well, if you could just lay out all the data, I hate to say that, but it is data. Like if you knew, say, back to Ali Mills' nollie flip, like that's not one that starts much debate because it stood out so heavily, but that's on a timeline that happens at 1990. And then you would know like, oh, if you just had the time to look at every known video, you could see like, oh, where does the next trick happen? Like, where's the nollie frontside flip happen? Where's the nollie backside flip happen? You would unfortunately have to do that by noting all these videos, doing your best to do that. And then I didn't realize when I started, I would then probably have to do my best to gather data about what month they're kind of coming out to kind of project a story. It puts more of a story behind it. Like, oh, the public would have seen, like back to the heel flip list, you might be looking at like Shackle Me Not comes out, pretty well known.
Shackle Me Not is the H Street video.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's been like, if you want to just look at those 4 on the heel flip.
Yes, let's look
at
the heel flip.
The majority of the world saw Shackle Me Not, right?
Yes.
And that's what's gonna.
And let me just interrupt.
Probably. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
And what you mean by the majority of the world saw Shackle Me Not? What he's saying is Shackle Me Not is a video from a brand called H Street, which at the time in 1988 when Shackle Me Not came out, H Street was the biggest skateboarding company out of, at the most, 35 skateboarding companies on the planet? At the most. Probably less.
I think it's fair to say that if you were skateboarding then, especially if you were our age, and you're paying attention, like you're seeing Age Street, like Shakamina and Hocus Pocus, and then right behind that is Ban This. But the point being, you can nail down a timeline of when, especially when there's only one heel flip in a video, and then it doesn't happen for, say, another year, right? You don't see Ray Barbie do the heel flip without a grab for another year. So it's pretty, like, it doesn't leave room for much debate. I mean, I know there's always the debate of, yeah, but they could have filmed it 2 years ago. Yes. Or 2 years prior to when that video comes out. But when you really look at a lot of that, it's not even plausible for a lot of those arguments.
That argument doesn't work for specifically for videos before Rubbish Heap, because right before Rubbish Heap, almost 90% of all skateboarding videos were shot on film.
Yeah,
and so they only
right? Think about how, like, if somebody says that about, say, like a world writer in the early 90s there, right? Like those companies were putting videos out like every year. So it's like, you can't say that Mike Carroll had a clip that was filmed in 91 that came out in, say, like, what would the example be? Virtual reality, because it's like, if it was filmed in 91 and it was that amazing, that would have came out in questionable.
It goes in questionable,
like
exactly.
There isn't this, like, that could have been filmed, like 3 years prior to that. It's like, no.
There was
with
also
some logic, some of that isn't true. Like, so you can be this, like, outsider. I feel like a voyeur sometimes, just like looking at data without getting like the filmer's perspective on the timing, or there are even all these pros. But it's like you can just look at numbers and months of releases of videos, and you kind of can tell the story on your own. Well, I'm sure that rubs some people the wrong way. But I get a lot of shit wrong by, like, not probably collaborating enough. But
that's what I like about the way you do it, because if everyone's following, like, let's go back to the Powell Bones Brigade video show that came out in 1984. This is, we're talking, 40 years ago.
Yeah, what is that, right?
40 years ago.
Like 40 years ago?
Okay, 40 years ago. Okay, guys, so this is some old stuff. But 40 years ago, there was probably only 7 skateboard videos that were released that entire year, correct?
Yeah, it's so minimal. And then you pre-85.
Then you moved to 85, and maybe there was 15 or 20 videos, right? So it's like progressively.
Less than that, but
progressively the releases get a little bit more as the technology of the videotape expands as well. So it's like, by the time 1999 finally comes around, where every skate crew has access to a video camera. That wasn't necessarily true in 1992. Not every skate crew had access to a camera still. Some of them did, and those were the crews that then, had a kid that gets sponsored because he actually got filmed, right? So it's like, it's a lot of what the data that you're presenting is just, it's limited because there's only so much of it, and because there's only so much of it, that's what I think you're trying to say, is that you can say with certainty certain tricks were the first one seen by the general public through video, right?
That's the general the general story I try to tell, and I try to tell it through that lens so that I'm not, back to, like, it. I try to be careful with those words when, say, like, God, it happens so much with, like, Henry and Daewon, because there's back to those world videos.
Henry Sanchez, who skated for Blind Skateboards, and Daewon Song, who was on World Industries at the time. Yeah.
And if you look at, like, Love Child and Pack of Lives, like, Daewon and Henry do a lot of similar tricks, if not the same, and those videos are being filmed
at the same time,
almost overlapping. So it's, I mean, to be perfectly honest, like, Henry Sanchez has, like, I feel like, been offended by me saying and suggesting Daewon might have done this one first. So it's I put myself out there sometimes, but it's fun. Like, I don't mean to piss Henry off at all, I try to just look at what I feel like is, again, dork shit, but data, just, so.
Well, but I think, that's something that I'm kind of, now that I've been, because we've been talking on Instagram before I started podcasting, and now that I'm an international podcaster who's getting clipped on YouTube and having all this success with my podcast, through my relationships now that I'm building with a Gifted Hater and the Discord. The podcast is really just blowing up, and I'm realizing, and the thing that's
awesome, man.
But it's also frustrating because so many people don't understand what the podcast exists for, and and your story about with Henry Sanchez, it's not it's not. I'm not even having Henry Sanchez question what I'm talking about. I'm having just random bots in the YouTube comments questioning it.
Right.
So
that shit's amazing, right?
And I'm trying to explain, no, this is the Good Morning General Chat podcast. We're a podcast where we describe and talk about the paywalled content from the Gifted Hater. So if you don't know why I don't do a video for it, I'm saying I don't want to make a video about it because that would kind of interfere with this guy's private content that he's posting, So instead, we discuss it. And if you can't figure that out, that's a little crazy on me.
Right.
So the fact that skaters and other people can't figure out that you're not saying these people invented these tricks. You're just saying that this is when it was documented. So this is, it's, yes.
Yeah. I say it kind of ad nauseum, I type it, whatever, in descriptions. So.
Yeah, you constantly have to remind people, people are so quick to want their perspective to be acknowledged by some random person who's just doing their own thing, right?
Yeah. But it was fun to put it together. I've gotten I'm 8 years into this.
And he's 8 years into the NBD Archive, which is an Instagram account. So please go look at it. It's a wealth of knowledge. Scroll through it. Obviously, Instagram is not. It's hard to get to some of the bottom stuff, but it's worth it. If you have 5 minutes just to scroll all the way to the bottom and to start seeing how you tackle each trick. If you're a skater, it's super fascinating. It's like reading a biography about
Dude, I appreciate it. And I realized Instagram, is not the greatest tool, but I've always been I need to put up a kind of how-to. I did one pretty recently, but then I realized the best way to look at the page is on actually a laptop where you can zoom out.
Oh, because you're not limited by the grid now, right?
Then you can see almost what I always had in my head is just the blocks of the tricks, and I feel like you understand it. Right?
I know exactly what you're talking about because when you look at Instagram through a web browser now, it's not limited by the 3x3 grid anymore.
You can zoom out, and then you would see all what I call the trick markers or bookend markers to what I'm covering.
Yep, and you can zoom in.
It makes sense. Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it. Yeah, so don't look at it on the phone app, everybody. Go and look at Instagram on the web browser, and then go to.
It makes more sense versus. The project in entirety makes more sense when you look at it that way. The dailies, God, I don't really do it daily as much anymore. But the post flood stream, sure, that's just happening. But they do pertain to a certain trick I'm typically going through the chronology of and how it just all unfolds on video. Whether it's, if it's a flip trick like we're going over the straight 8, it makes sense that most of them are happening on flat first, right? So that's not the case with, obviously a flat ground trick. Most of that is the case. It's not actually the case for every flat ground trick. Some stuff was
the hips,
right? Off a curb or a ledge or something, So that stuff's kind of fun. But we can talk about that shit all day. I was stoked on, and I didn't think it wouldn't match up with your story. That's for sure. Of when you're like hearing it for the first time, that totally made sense in my head, timing wise. I was shocked that you're hearing it that early on, but obviously the timing completely makes sense when you look at. You were already talking about it. When all these tricks are officially all documented and in videos and the public see it is early 1992. You know?
Well, that's my claim. That's my claim. Is the first time I heard it, the straight 8 was in 1992. So let me just go back to the. Let me just go back.
92.
Yeah.
It was at your summer camp again.
Let me go back to the data. Okay, so in 1984, in the Bones Brigade video show, the world sees Rodney Mullen do a kickflip, and then the heel flip doesn't show up until there's 2 attempts by heel flips in videos, but they weren't landed. But the first time you see someone actually land a heel flip is with a grab. With a grab, which is crazy, and that's in H3 Shackle Me Not, and that is 1988. So from 1984 until 1988, you
don't see one landed.
All you see are kickflips in videos.
Right.
And then in 1989, another Powell video. Powell banned this, and I believe that was the 6th Powell video at this point, or the 5th.
Oh, good. I already messed that up.
It's either the 5th or the
Powell might be public domain. I think is the 4th.
Public domain's the 4th. Yeah. Okay, so this is the 5th, and propaganda was the 6th, maybe.
7th.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, but 1989.
So
the heel flip.
Am I blowing it? Oh yeah, because Vicky kickflip happens. Okay. Yeah. Get to your point. Whatever.
Well, I'm just reading the information, and it looks right to me. I haven't double checked any of this. This all makes sense to me based on like knowing what these videos are and when they came out. So after 1989, the first fakie kickflip we see is that came out in public domain, which was.
You know what? And I'm realizing I did some polishing of these notes. I took away that he doesn't actually land that. That's another attempt. I don't think he lands the fakie kickflip.
Oh, Vallely?
Vallely, yeah.
Okay.
So, I could be wrong. So then somebody might have to fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't land that. I'm almost positive.
Great.
Because I did it in the past like couple years. Because I was stoked on the Jesse Newhouse thing.
Then let's talk about Jesse Newhouse. In 1989, in an Alva video, Young Guns, which was not a very popular video, Jesse Newhouse is kind of a bit of an underground ripper,
from Chicago.
Yeah. From Chicago, and he did the first fakie kickflip we see. So think about this: 1984, you see Rodney Mullen do a kickflip, then you don't see a fakie kickflip until 1989 when Jesse Newhouse does one, and then shortly after in Hocus Pocus, there's one fakie kickflip from Sal Barbier, right?
Yeah, and we are staying with the straight 8 story. I hate to veer off into not straight 8, but God, this is where my brain just goes on all this shit. There are fakie kickflips, just back to half cabs. Mm-hmm. Those half cab flips happen before
a straight fakie flip.
Like Gons does one, like a backside half cab flip.
Okay.
Fucking in I don't know, it's just like 86 or some shit. Just to clarify so we don't get called out by anybody.
Yes.
Getting super tech with the skate nerdery.
But you're suggesting is that the first fakie...
That's not a straight 8 though.
No. But you're suggesting is that just this is how it happened as far as appearing on videos.
Yes.
We saw a half cab flip before we saw a fakie kickflip on video.
Totally, yeah, for sure.
And especially that time period, that's how few videos were being released, and how much time could go between these tricks happening, because we don't start really hitting 100, 300 videos coming out in a year until you get to 94 probably, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
With all the 401s and all
exactly.
That stuff, so.
Yeah, so it's still just major skate companies releasing videos. So after the fakie kickflip, then we see the first fakie heel flip comes out. Is that the John Duff? You want to give it to John Duff? The Tracker Truck Company.
Yeah, I was stoked on that find.
I've never even heard of John Duff.
Yeah, he was back to New Deal. He was on New Deal.
He was on New Deal, okay.
Useless Wooden Toys, little shared part, and I think he was homies with Armando Barajas.
Okay, so a California guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So fakie heel flip ended up in a tracker video, and then so now we have 4 of the straight 8 done. We've got the kickflip, the heel flip, and the fakie versions, right? And then we come to my obsession with the nollie kickflip, where you see Ali Mills do one in the New Deal video, Useless Wooden Toys, at the Interstate 91 skate camp. And then the next trick is a nollie, and then we also get a nollie heel flip in the tracker stacked video, and that's where you said Armando Barajas, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming
that's
Armando
a close call for a couple people because of the release of. God, there's so much shit that happens.
Yeah.
If you look at the month,
but
all those videos are all coming out like the last couple months of 1991. So all those people, I would honestly.
Yeah, it could be. It could
back to if you're gonna say it.
Yeah, but here's the thing:
crediting somebody like these guys all did this shit right then at the same time.
And that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, so for instance, let's look at Armando Barajas. How do you say his last name?
I would have to be Barajas.
Yeah. So Armando Barajas was a skater on New Deal. He did like a lot of really cool like blunt slide tricks, like blunt slide heel flip, right? Like he was
huge fan.
Yeah, he was I remember watching his video parts and just being like, I was completely confused by what he was doing. Like I didn't understand how he could hold a blunt slide across a ledge with stairs coming down. It just seems so dangerous and impossible, right?
In like 1990.
Yeah. So if Armando's doing a nollie heel flip and his homie John Duff is doing a fakie heel flip, and it's probably filmed on the same day practically, right? They probably.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, but that's how a lot of the tricks were being documented and filmed.
Oh, I see. Because they're both in stacks. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could have been that there was literally the same session, and like he did a nollie heel flip, and then the other guy was like, "Well, I can't do it off the nose, but I'll do it off the fakie or whatever." But
right.
So now we have the nollie heel flip done. We have the nollie kick flip. We have the heel flip. We have the kick flip. And like you were saying, the nollie heel flip specifically and the fakie heel flip specifically have multiple skateboarding videos, all releasing different skateboarders. Doing that trick all right within the same time.
Yeah,
right?
They're so like close in release.
Yeah.
So hard to say like this happened first.
Yeah.
Whatever,
so and as far as I'm concerned, and as far as the conversations I've been having about the straight 8 go, none of my listeners, none of the people I'm discussing this with, it's not about knowing that Chris Hall or Kelly Bird did the first nollie heel flip. It's just about knowing that the nollie heel flip wasn't done or seen, at least, until 1991. So, until 1991, there can't be a straight 8 because nobody's done a nollie heel flip. And we still haven't seen the switch kick flip and the switch heel flip because those didn't start appearing until, like, 1992, when the Plan B video came out, when the Firm video came out, when SMA's Debunker comes out, Blockhead's Rubber, right?
Yeah, it seems like those last 3, nollie heel, switch kick flip, and switch heel, it's... like these pros are probably doing them late 91.
Yep.
And then they're able to get them down enough to get them in a video.
Yep.
In these 92 releases. They could have obviously filmed them in 90. Well, shit, yeah. Obviously, the ones released in 91, filmed in 91.
Yep.
But I would think, like, Carroll's and maybe even Gruber's stuff from the Firm video that could have been filmed in 91. You never know.
It could have been filmed, exactly. But, summer of 91.
Yeah, it's interesting. Carroll's pretty on record. Fuck, I should pull that up. I'll take notes on like what people say in Nine Clubs, and his was interesting because he points out he didn't learn switch flips until like the midnight hour of filming for Questionable. So that's what is, I don't know for certain, but it could point to his stuff actually being filmed in 92.
1992, which fits.
Because that video it premieres in like April of 92.
Yep.
So that's enough time to have filmed a lot of shit in 1992 and have it come out still. So.
Yep. And then that comes into the summer of 1992, which is when I first was introduced to the phrase the straight 8.
Yeah, this story is amazing.
Because all of a sudden the Plan B video had come out and you were there. You remember how revolutionary and crazy and obsessive that video made all of us.
Indeed, it was one of those. What am I doing as a skateboarder? Videos.
Like, the music was crazy, right? Like the first time you hear Green Day, the first time you hear Hieroglyphics, the Fushnikin song, like what's his name, Rodney Mullen skating to that Cat Stevens songs, the Beastie Boys were not really cool for a while, but then all of a sudden Mike Carroll skating to the Beastie Boys, like the Beastie Boys instantly became cool again.
For sure.
Like they were completely dead. No one cared about the Beastie Boys. And then Mike Carroll's part starts, and that was from Ill Communications, right?
God, was it? Like, I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it was definitely a moment.
I think it was the album before that.
But it definitely set off like a re-obsession with the Beastie Boys, right? Like, because Paul's Boutique is kind of looked at as like a real kind of like snobs like lover, like a real music lover's lover of the Beastie Boy album, but it wasn't. Yeah. But like the Beastie Boys they were kind of not hitting anymore in like a lot. Like they kind of right.
If you think about our age, I don't think we were mature enough for when Paul's Boutique came out.
No,
we needed like to grow up a little bit to appreciate it.
That's what I'm saying. Like at the time, it was like I didn't like it. I was like, well, this isn't Licensed to Ill. It's not fun like Licensed to Ill. What is this weird like record? Yeah. Like, I don't know about this one.
I honestly didn't hear it until after, because back to your kind of point, like I don't know. I guess I didn't really have that much access to music in the first place. So I didn't know about Paul's Boutique until, like you're saying, that fervor reignited through Questionable. Mm-hmm. My friend starts buying all of God, what is that album? Fuck, I can't remember. But maybe it is Ill Communication. But he then goes and buys Paul's Boutique. Mm-hmm. And we were, after like a year, he's like, dude, this is a really good album. It's like, yeah, it is. Like, fuck, that is good.
Because it really was. It's a very special album. Again, like I don't personally like that album just because I never spent enough time with it. But if I had spent time with it, I would probably agree with all of my DJ friends who are like, tell me it's the best one.
I won't get too personal about music. Yeah.
No, I'm
at a phase where I'm not really into any of them anymore.
Yeah. Well, but even like the Ned's Atomic.
Maybe in like another 10 years.
What about that Ned's Atomic Dustbin song and the Rick Harold part?
Oh, see, yeah, that's that too. Like I was in love with that. Fuck, that was my first concert. I was going to Ned's Atomic Dustbin
because of Plan B video.
Totally, completely.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. But I can't listen to it anymore.
No, but that song was also magical. Like it was like this.
It is magical.
Like they're basically a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, that was like fucking all we were waiting for. Play the Rick Howard song.
Yeah. You don't want to hear "Kill Your Television." You don't care.
That's on MTV.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to get across to people that weren't. I'm not just trying. I don't want to sound like an old head, but like you weren't there. You don't understand.
Well, you are old. I'm old.
Yeah. I'm talking about the listeners. Like it's like
they're not.
Like so you don't understand. And we're trying to make you understand like how incredibly exciting this video was, especially the advertisements going up to it, knowing that a bunch of your favorite skaters all quitting companies to start this new exciting company, right?
Yeah.
And then the video comes out and you see Pat Duffy grinding that double kink with slow motion as that Primus song is blasting. And
they had their ringer.
Yeah, it was a really magical, beautiful moment. I don't know how else to compare it to, like maybe like a 917 video, or like I don't know what the best video of this year would be. Like maybe
Dude, I've probably mentioned to you I'm terrible at keeping up with.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to ground it.
I think I might get scolded for this, but I think Cherry was the last one, at least as this old fart noticed. Like, wow, that really changed like everything. So,
I think that's popular. That is the popular consensus. Like as much as people dislike Bill Strobeck, and all the videos, all the videos that have come after. Like when you see when you just see his dirty fingers all over a new Supreme edit, and you're and you're like,
but I kind of like to your point of questionable. I feel like you were kind of saying it was pretty eclectic as far as music goes. I mean, it was a 90s video with a lot of hip hop, but fucking Cherry with that mixture of music, you just fucking, I love that, dude. And then the chaos of the more anti-hero feel of no parts and just, that spoke to me. But, and then I'm like old at that point already too.
No, Cherry's a great video.
Anyways, I could rant on about.
You don't have to tell me that, but what I'm trying to explain is that when I saw this list that you gave me, and I see the switch kickflip and the switch heel flip, because these are the ones that were really in my mind. I'm like, when did people start doing those? You know, because whenever you hear of switch, and if you're an old head, you immediately go to one man's name. It's Salman Aga, right?
Oh, yeah, or like when you asked me to like think about it, I don't have all this shit in my head, so it's like I wasn't confident in my head, like, and you didn't even tell me that you had your origin story of hearing it. I just was already like, when would that be? Like, when could that even have physically been possible for most people to have been doing this, you know? Like, and like you're saying, beyond a Rodney Mullen, or I'm sure you've heard of Dan Gallagher. Like,
is he the guy who did the first hard flip?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Shout out Dan Gallagher.
Yeah. So stuff like that, you know, there's always going to be these extreme humans that might have been doing it. But
when I looked at
when is young Sloan showing up to skate camp?
So it was
it's 92.
It was 92. And guess what? Yeah. And that's when, like, it makes sense why we were all like trying to do the straight 8, and it wasn't in a row because nobody could do it in a row then. I mean, maybe Mike Carroll could, maybe Sal Barbier
I would
could.
even wonder about that, dude.
I don't think so. If Mike Carroll just...
And I'm not dissing any of those dudes.
No,
I just think at the time the tricks are so new.
That's
I don't know if there would have been a lot of, maybe like we're always going to go back to maybe Rodney, but
but if Mike Carroll said on the 9 Club that he didn't land switch kickflips to that, so that way he could do it down the 3 stair for his part in Questionable Video, if he didn't land it until like, you know, April of 1992, then
he might not have it in a game of skate.
Yeah,
so then or what if? Sorry, I always associate straight 8 with a game of skate, but that's
it would explain that by the time of summer of 92, when I hear the straight 8, nobody's trying to do it in a row because that just sounds impossible.
Yeah,
like it literally sounds impossible. It would be like saying that you can kickflip into a crooked grind.
Yeah,
they're like, no, that's impossible. It doesn't make sense because nobody had done it yet. But then I'm sure if you fast forward to, so 1992, that's when I learned about it. It's not in a row. When was the first time you heard the phrase, the straight 8?
Yeah, it's not as exciting. It's not at this, like, historically cool fucking skate camp park thing on the East Coast. But it is my own little story. It's funny when you approached me about this. I have thought about this for years. I've whatever, just a random memory. And it goes like this. I'll go ahead and talk about myself, unfortunately, too much to place the story. St. Louis, Missouri, there's a skate shop called Altered Skates that is not around anymore. But in front of the shop there, we would play games of skate. And I alluded to this in our prior discussion. I'm not the biggest fan, of just competition skate in general, like competition within skateboarding.
Yep.
And then the game of skate will kind of push those buttons internally in me a lot. And lots of times just a game of skate just bums me out. So I don't participate in them a lot. So what I'm getting at is, yes, I would play these games of skate here and there unwillingly, knowing, like, I'm still a pretty young skateboarder. Like, there's no dream of sponsorship. I'm old and definitely found the bar at this point. But still knew, like, it's fun to skate, just like it's always been. It's fun to, like, put yourself in those uncomfortable spots, like, oh, I can't do this trick, I'll give it a try. And lo and behold, you've done a trick you've never done before. So it's like,
It's crazy how it happens.
I knew the benefits of playing games of skate, but
yep.
I just hated that feeling of maybe it's work. I just don't like working at it.
Yep.
I don't fucking know, but like I always was a little hesitant, at least relative to I feel like a lot of this more like generation that I fell into in skating that love to play games of skate. Like I just wasn't there. But so God, okay. That is the first time I heard it was my friend. He's like, you want to play a game of skate? Reluctantly, sure. And he's just like, well, let's do a straight 8. And I didn't really have to ask. I knew what he meant, but that was the first fucking time. That's all. It's not that exciting, right? It's just like, I knew what he meant by that.
Yes, and because it's a great phrase that describes those 8 freaking tricks perfectly.
And we were all of our, just people I'm talking about, they were playing games of skate, like, we all had those. So it was like, okay, I get it. You're applying a fucking number, sorry. Like, you're applying a number to this thing that we all do, and I just was a little apathetic to it the first time. But that's back to my my entire story of like my approach to games of skate in the first place aren't very like open-armed in the first place. So yeah, so that's when I heard it. This was, and then so time-wise, that's the important part, would be like this would have probably been like 1999, I would say.
Yeah,
maybe 2000. So I don't hear it till many years after you, but I'm not in some, probably a city, East Coast, where you're maybe getting even more exposure to just pro skateboarding in general. We had tours come through, but, I don't think on the level that you were probably seeing. Yeah. Or like, dude, I'm not going to bag on my town, but like, there probably weren't many of us that had those 8 tricks even in fucking like 99. Like there's probably like only like 20 people or something. Well, I didn't be doing that. So it's like,
I didn't even learn how to switch kickflip until like 2012.
Oh, so you had to wear pads.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. And so what he's trying to say is that so at the skate camp, if you could show, and I can't remember if it was only one specific counselor that was doing this game, or if you could do, if this was like a whole camp wide thing, or if this was just to my group that this rule was introduced. But if you could show show the counselor that you could do the straight 8, not in a row, but just that you could do all 8 of those tricks, he would let you skate without your pads on. And that was like the freaking coolest thing to be able to do, because all the pros that were visiting are skating without their pads on. All of like, the local sponsor, like the shop sponsored kids get to skate with their pads off. So I remember I couldn't do it. So I just was whatever, like I'll just skate with pads the whole time. But I remember my friend Rance Brown, by the end of the camp, he was skating without pads. He might have done it on the first day. He was really good. He was sponsored by Shepherd Ferry's company, Giant, at the time, when they just did those stickers. Andre the Giant.
It wasn't called Obey yet.
But it wasn't called Obey yet. It was actually just called Giant. So Rance could do it. And I forget the name of the kid.
And you're saying not in a row, right?
No, it would just be like, okay, there's the kick flip. Yep, there's the heel flip. Yep. Okay, and the counselor would he would get bored and be like, okay, I got to go do something else. Just come back when you can land it, And then it's like, okay, what do you have to land again? Okay, yeah, you haven't showed me the switch kickflip yet, So it was just this kind of thing. It was like a little. It was just like a game that just went on for the whole week, and I remember like it was exciting because it was this thing that you could do, and you watch kids learn the tricks, and all of a sudden they get to skate without pads, and it's. Like, and they deserved it, honestly. Like, it made sense. It's like, yeah, you should get to skate without pads. You just like proved that you could do these things. So,
yeah, I'm a little older than you. I feel like I just turned 50.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So I was I'll toot my own horn. I probably could have done it in 92. Obviously not in a row, but I think I had all those.
Well, if you've landed all the tricks, then you at one point you could have. Yeah, I'm still battling it. I learned,
but I lost fucking all of them at this point in my life.
I'm now on a dedicated trying to get the switch heel, but obviously being old and injuries and bad ankles and board not popping properly, I can't figure out how to do switch heel flips still. But maybe this year it'll work.
I wish I had some pointers.
I've gotten some good advice from Can I Have Cigs from one of the Discord homies. Hopefully I can get it, but it's just I don't know. That's another more old people stuff. So now fast forward to today, 2026, and I'm having this conversation with more people now about where they first heard it, and you know what what keeps coming up as where people heard about it for the first time?
No.
Trevor Colden, Straight 8, and it was a Heliclips upload. Do you remember Heliclips?
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally, yeah. So that was
There's a Heliclips upload of Trevor Colden doing this, trying to land the straight 8 in a row. And that's kind of
so does he pull it off?
He eventually does it. Yeah, it's good, and he's got like a really nice nollie heel flip, a really nice switch heel flip, not popped super high, but just like super clean. Like it's a really great little video of just like nonchalant, like nothing serious. It's not, but and I think that's probably why a lot of people liked it so much, because now I think if you Google or throw it into YouTube straight 8 skateboarding, a bunch of different like Braille type content comes up, and it's pretty.
Did the Braille guys do it?
Honestly, I can't.
You want to find out.
I can't for the life of me click on a Braille video or a Revive video or a John Hill video. Yeah. Like I just can't watch these guys. I just can't watch these guys' videos. So I'm sure some of them have done it, and I'm sure they've uploaded them to YouTube somewhere. So.
On like a computer skateboard or something.
Yeah. So, but I like the idea of Trevor Colden invented the straight 8 in a row challenge. That's my perspective. So he didn't invent the straight 8. He wasn't the first person to do the straight 8, but he was the first person to film a straight 8 in a row challenge. So listeners, prove me wrong. Bring the data. Put the link in the comments of. I think Andy Schrock.
Heliclips is, that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah, show me where local Joe did the straight 8 first, or Michael Relevant. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. And actually, no, this is a challenge to the gifted hater. You still have not shown me the straight 8 in a row that you claimed you could do. You still haven't done it. So
I don't put too many doubts on him. He seems pretty talented.
He keeps lying to me about stuff, so.
I
gotta call him out on this one on the podcast.
In a row is gnarly. Back to you when we talked prior, you brought up endurance. That sounds silly, I'm sure, to young kids listening, but our age folks, it's like, dude, just like if I get like 2 tricks into like whatever cruiser in a park, it's like huffing and puffing, like so.
It is an endurance challenge, and I will give Joa the gifted hater. He was the first person I've ever heard refer to the straight 8 challenge as an endurance challenge. So I stole that from him. So respect to Joa for
you said it the first time you said it.
Okay. Yeah, he's
even in private.
Okay.
You gave a shout out, so I'm vouching for you.
No, but that's where we're at these days. It's like I feel like every time I say something or I post something or I do something, it's like you've got to like show your fucking receipts for every single thing. It's just like Jesus Christ. Well, thank God, like this. I've got this list of when these tricks made. It blows my mind when I look at when the switch kickflip came out. And the switch heel flip. And when I say came out, what I mean by when it became prominently a popular trick to do, because you can't do you can't do the straight 8 until all these tricks become popular tricks to do. If there's only like a few unicorns that can like throw out an ollie flip or throw out a switch kick flip, the idea of the straight 8 won't ever resonate.
So you're saying you have not
No.
in your life?
Never.
Done them, like maybe
I've never in
awesome.
my life landed a switch heel flip.
Wow, okay.
So, like, I cannot claim that I can do the straight 8. I don't have the straight 8. I can't ever do a straight 8. That's how I describe the straight 8 in a row, doing a straight 8. So
I think with my tooting my own horn and looking at the list, I would bet the hardest trick at that time for me would have been fakie heel.
Yeah, fakie heel. If you go to the Trevor Colden straight 8 heliclips, fakie heel, a lot of people agree with you there. There's a lot of...
I was, again, pointing back to the talk we had a couple days ago. It's just like, I can't regular heel flip anymore. And it's just really extra sad because I was a heel flipper. I sucked at kick flips, but I could heel flip. And then so, like, it did still take a while to get comfortable with fakie heels, but I had those... I was a fan of them. So, like, they felt good and, like... Anyways, but I, in life, just got bummed that I couldn't kickflip well, and like, so
skateboarding is mad humbling.
I switched and like started trying kickflips. I'm not even kidding, for like just years and years until like I met some goals of like silly stuff.
Well, and now that you're now that you're 50, if you have to do a flip trick, what's your favorite flip trick to do at 50?
Somehow switched kickflips have still stuck around.
Respect. All right. So yeah, switch kickflips at 50 is a pretty sick claim.
Yeah, it is what it is, but it's like sad that like, so back to regular flip tricks, like I could switch flip before I could kickflip, probably ever since, again, back to sucking at normal kickflips.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once I learned switch flips like fucking a long time ago. I could do a bunch of horn tooting of myself. Like, I definitely learned it before seeing them in a video. But that doesn't mean like it was like right before like questionable and shit come out. But like I couldn't normal kickflip, like, and then that carried on. I mean, I could do it, right?
Sure.
I could fucking do a kickflip, but sure. Like,
no, I have a friend.
I already felt like once I learned a switch flip, like I just already somehow had way more power on it, and it was just more enjoyable. So like I kept doing more switch flips, not putting in the work for kick flips.
Yeah.
Right. Normal riding forward kick flips, and just they always sucked.
Yeah.
So, and then it's just carried on through life. It's just like riding a bike, a little switch flip on flat is still sticking around. So, but the normal heel flip's gone, so I'm bummed. It's just like, that's actually like, I hate to be a sad old man, but that shit bums me out.
You know what I think might help you?
Yeah, what do I need to do?
You need to get the Andy Anderson skateboard.
Oh, I know, dude. I know. Somebody was having trouble flicking the other day, and I dropped that joke. I was proud of myself. But, dude, Andy Anderson's rad.
He's the best. He's the best.
We were talking for a little bit. He talks to me here and there.
That's sick.
Dude.
Okay,
but,
so
that shit's wild, dude. That's like technology.
Well, it's just wild the way it like it works. Like his sales pitch works, man. Because I bet the actual shit works. I bet the science of it works. I've been told by multiple people that it works, and I didn't want to hear about it, but they've definitely wanted to tell me all about it. And Andy Anderson, for better or for worse, is probably. Let's talk about origins. I used to hate people that skated with headphones at skate parks.
Yeah.
But over the last 5 years, having to have random people tell me about their Andy Anderson board and why I should try riding it and try doing a kickflip off it at this certain position has made...
you started putting your headphones in?
Yeah. I think Andy Anderson has made me enjoy skating with headphones on.
Well, hey, I thought you were going to... I don't know where you were going with it, but I think he skates with headphones, so you guys are cool with each other then.
Yeah. Well, a session with Andy Anderson is still a dream session for me. I would love to skate with him.
It'd be wild. That'd be wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. I feel good about this conversation. I like hearing about your experience with the straight eight, and I'm above and beyond grateful to look at this spreadsheet and see the information you've provided about the popularity of the tricks and when they
what I've been doing,
when they hit the popularity. So it coincides with everything that I remember from my childhood, from whatever this was, like 30 years ago at this point. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it took back to I put some years into doing this. What has been actually just fruitful in life in general, and carried into a job I just lost due to government funding, but just dealing with data. This is essentially a giant database I've been creating, even though it's not necessarily in a true database form. I've just been able to learn through the pressures of having to learn it from my job, how to manipulate data within a spreadsheet. And it's been way fruitful, paid off as far as in a career sense, as well as I'm doing better with the data I'm trying to tell a story with here. So, yeah.
Let me ask you this. How many skateboard videos do you think you looked at to compile your archive?
Fuck. Oof. I don't know if I could do that number quick, but let's say, here's a way I could do it. Let me see how many cells we've got here.
Are there ever
I got it.
Or do you know a specifically heavy year where the most videos came out in one year?
Oh God, by the time you get to the 2000s and shit, it gets out of control. And I don't know if people notice some of those hints I make, but the notes that I have done on videos definitely taper by 2002, and then kind of becoming non-existent by videos in 2003 and 4. So I'm not comfortable even discussing tricks that I know.
Was that because
I've not found 2002 or prior, and that's just a matter of time. So here, I'm about to give you a number. You're gonna fucking lose your shit. Maybe not. It's not that crazy. I thought it'd be maybe even more. So through 2002, my estimate is we're at about 1,200 skate videos. So
1,200 skate videos released from 1984 to 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
it's pretty fucking wild.
It's not that many if you consider how many YouTube uploads get made about regards of skateboarding every year now, right?
True. Yeah. It's been a shitload of work, but compared relatively to what is being produced now, no, it's so we can tangent into there's people who have a massive effort to preserve all this, and I don't know if you saw that Mike Carroll, I think, and Anthony Van Engelen just came out with something to try to save every skate video. Roger Bagley said he's trying on 9 Clubs.
But basically,
there's already a nonprofit called, I'll shout them out, Look Back Library, that they've
Look Back Library
doing that, and it's interesting that that's not been brought up. There's these great efforts, people with a lot of money, and it's there's somebody that's already been doing that. So why not aid that effort? Or, anyways, whatever.
No, I think you know why. I think they're trying. I think Roger Bagley and Anthony Van Engelen. I mean, these guys are trying to hopefully monetize it. That's obviously why.
Respect.
Which is fine if they can do it. Great.
One that is paying the skaters, which is, and the filmers, it looks like, and that's amazing.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just it's I don't know. I even brought that up in comparison, but there's people that are doing it on a
shout out Look Back Library
on a just out of well, he has a full-on nonprofit, but there's just individuals doing it, trying to preserve all the skate history. This guy I work with out of Germany. I think he's actually in Netherlands. Sorry, Mark Binkers. But he's just.
What does he do?
He's compiling basically a database of his own of every skate video.
Does he have a website?
He doesn't do the tricks.
Does he have a website or an Instagram?
I don't think he does. No. He doesn't. But his Insta's like Skate Video Freak or something.
Skate Video Freak. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I do want to touch back on,
like crazy effort to like preserve every ounce of, and that's like bleeding into like what's happening now.
Sure.
And it's fucking insane spreadsheets he's shared with me, trying to track and keep everything that's currently happening is just like, fuck, dude. It's wow. Hats off to anybody trying to do it. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I
guess,
think there's, but again, I think that's why your stuff resonates with me. Obviously, it's just like it was simpler times, so it's easier to see it.
It is,
and I want to reiterate a specific number as well. So let's say 1,200 skate videos came out over the course of 20 years, right, between like 1986 and or 1982 and 2002, right?
Yeah, and if people are maybe have any doubts about those numbers, we're getting back into those times once, especially into the 90s and 2000s, where there's video magazines. I've learned so much doing this. Like, there's so many fucking video magazines that were coming out like right when 401's created, if not that entire time, all over the world. So it's like, I'm trying to capture all of those. And that's back to Mark. He was super helpful in like pointing out some of the more globally, known videos. So anyways, just rad people just doing this shit. But they love it. It's cool. It's fun to kind of like be part of it.
Well, I also think that number of videos, because we're talking about on average, let's say 60 videos coming out each year, and that's not at once, like, because obviously like certain years are going to be heavier. There were some years where only maybe 22 videos came out, right? And
what's interesting is you back to the straight 8 discussion, and it'll make sense to you, is like 92 is where you kind of see like a bump down in releases.
Okay.
And then it slowly picks back up and up and up and up. Mm-hmm. It's because, like 91, there was this weird.
That was when skateboarding died.
Like, it dies, but like there was that attempt all the attempts to be like Rocco and be like this new brand, right? Mm-hmm. All start like Life and I don't know what else is going on in 91.
Blue, Milk.
Yeah, like New School, and fucking just all this shit that doesn't really pan out.
Yeah.
But they were all making videos. Anyways,
yeah.
There's a weird spike in 91 that I find kind of interesting, and then it dies a little bit in 92, and even like 93 is, even with 401, pretty low in numbers. So.
Yeah, but that's what makes those time periods even extra special, is because
totally,
it's like when you go to a diner or a Cheesecake Factory or whatever, and they have like these 20-page menus, and you're kind of just overwhelmed. But when you go to like some restaurant where they only do like 3 or 4 things, but they do them really, really well, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Or they might not even do them really well, but it feels like it's really well because the menu is so small sometimes.
Yeah. We're both from the time where like the intake of media, we've had, I guess, the pleasure of seeing both sides of what it used to be prior to what we see now.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine being a kid. Like, this is like, there's no hard copies of anything. And I'm not even, I am not, as weird as it is, me doing what I do, I'm not the person that likes, I don't collect the videos. I don't.
I think that's so cool, though, that you're just interested in watching them, because it's like that,
But it's weird growing up it's all gone. It's like the kids, it's nothing new, I'm going to say. Just the intake through your phone. And there's like nothing special about it anymore. It just sucks, you know. So,
well,
but it's like unstoppable, that beast that I'm part of, you know, like I'm contributing to it. So it's like, anyways, you can't stop it. I think I pointed out with our call prior with like the youth, they decide like what and where this is all going to go. So it's like,
yeah, and everything's
cool. There's stuff that's going in the right direction. So
yeah, well, cool. And everything's going in a certain direction, and you have a home for what you're doing. And if anybody goes and takes a look at the NBD archive, they'll see, like, you just look through the comments, and I always get a smile when I see, like, you know, John Reeves chirping off in there, or like Bobby Pulio chirping off in there. You know, it's like you have some of these, like, you know, legends of skateboarding actively engaging with the content that you're providing and still providing. Like even today you had I was looking at your stories, and you had some clips of Josh Falk, who was like this like super underground upper underground ripper from Portland, Oregon, right?
Yeah. And those like San Francisco clips were fucking rad.
Yeah, it's like I never saw those clips, but like, and I
neither,
and I barely knew about that guy just because he was just like, you know,
underground, you know, like, but anyways, been following him, been a fan of, like, he's been skating into his ages. So.
Well, I said thank you for posting all that stuff, and please keep posting it, because more and more people.
Will do, man.
Everyone, we all appreciate it when we're sitting on the toilet scrolling through, and we get to watch some good old fashioned skateboarding. It
was one thing I wanted to do it for, is like, as shitty as that app is and can be, and even what the page I do can bring out of people, and even myself. I've said some dumb stuff on there and feel like I shouldn't have said whatever I said, but it's always like, it's at least there's some positive and like happiness that comes out of it, you know, like it as corny as it can be, it might make somebody's day, you know. So
no, it does. It makes mine constantly.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, like even the random pro I'm tagging, you know, who knows what the fuck's going on with these hundreds of people that I just try to like point out, like, it's pretty sick that you did this. Yeah. I hope you find it that way too. Yeah.
Well, let's leave it right there, because I think that's a perfect place to end it, because that really is what you're doing, is you are highlighting these things that these, you know, skaters did and happen to document, and we can still enjoy it 20, 30, 40 years later.
Hopefully. Yeah.
I mean, we are. We are enjoying those clips, and you're helping keep those clips alive and keep them still keeping them relevant.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah.
All right, Never Been Done Archive, NBD Archive. Do you have any shout-outs or anything? You want to shout out a local skate shop or something like that, or just anybody, any skateboarding that you've been seeing recently that you like?
Oh gosh, who's skateboarding do I like? That's so tough.
Yeah,
I have to, like,
we see so intake. Much. Well, Josh Falk. Shout out to Josh Falk.
That was rad.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's so random, because I just, I just see so much, and it's just like, if there's something that stokes me out, I just put it in the stories.
Well, then I saw his new footage.
A lot of people misinterpret that I think, or I'm saying that those are NBDs. It doesn't happen a lot, but some people will always chime in like, that's not.
But that's good.
It's like, no, I'm just stoked on it.
They're engaging they're engaging the algorithm.
Yeah.
So there you go. We know what you're doing. You're doing it on purpose. You're just screwing with everyone.
Fucking why not?
All right. Well, hopefully this snow doesn't stick around for 2 weeks, but
I think I'm on lockdown.
So. All right. Well, hopefully we talk about this stuff later, another time, and once I get to the bottom of the straight 8, I'll keep you updated. Okay.
Sounds good, dude.
All right. Thanks a lot. Let's put it in the books.